The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. I'm back, y'all, and today in the crew, we got Miss Britt. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning.
We got Miss Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then my brother, Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We're just getting started.
That's right. That's right. Again, I just want to, thank everybody on air for, covering for me in my absence. But I'm back now, and as long as I keep my power up, I should be with y'all every day. Now, you guys you're laughing, but I got at Pedro, about 8:05, Pedro, and let you know my power had went out, and then by 8:35, it came back on. So
I was like, oh, man, let me jump up in here.
This stuff is crazy.
So what's going on with the power, y'all?
Well, I mean, we get winds out here, Carol, they call the Santa Anas.
Okay. Yeah. The Santa Ana winds are horrible.
So they come off the mountain, and I live right at the bottom of the mountain.
Okay.
So, I mean, over the course of this thing last week and whatnot with all the fires and stuff, those winds got up to about 100 miles an hour.
Ooh.
In certain places. I mean, it literally pushed the fire from, let's say, East LA all the way to the coast.
So are y'all power lines like here in Texas where it's on a pole?
Yeah, it's on the pole. It's on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
It's not underground, right?
No.
Yeah, and they're saying that tomorrow Ventura County is going to be getting hit with the wind too. And they're going to be in a high alert for fire also.
Yeah. Well, it's already heading that way.
The fires. Pedro, I believe it.
I mean, well, they've already got fires heading down towards wherever they. What's that place where Kevin and Will and all them live? Down there where
Hollywood over there. And
no. It starts with a C. Calabasas.
Oh yeah. Well, it's going that way. It started at Palisades.
Well, no. Well, they say it started that way, but when I was away, I remember even right there, Altadena, Pasadena, it was burning there first. I didn't hear nothing about Palisades until later.
You could be correct. You could be corrected.
See, we in Texas, we don't understand the vast of what you all are. Like Los Angeles is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand the depth of, they keep talking about the fires, but like I asked you, Pedro, you say it's close to you. You could smell it. I don't know San Bernardino. I don't know Hollywood. I don't know Los Angeles. I don't know
right.
Here.
So let's just go here, Carol. I am 62, 65 miles east of downtown LA. And then you still got at least another 20 miles to the water, Pedro?
Is that big?
Yeah.
Going west after downtown.
Going west.
After downtown, you go west to get to the water. So in downtown, I'm like 10 miles, 15. Well, 10. I give it a little less than 10. I'm 15 miles away from Inglewood, and that's more towards the west, going to the coast.
Let's go here, Carol. Let's try to put it to you on this level.
Okay.
Everything from Florida north,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up to New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pittsburgh, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And along down the state.
All those states will fit inside San Bernardino and LA County.
What?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that huge?
It's that big. San Bernardino County is actually one of the largest counties in the United States.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and LA County is pretty big too. I mean, if you think
Right.
about it, California is one of the only states where you can go to the ocean, the mountains, the desert. Like, California is pretty vast.
You could experience all 4 seasons, guys. Dang. That's why it's the West, y'all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's always been a place on my bucket list.
Hey,
Well, it's my home. I love it. And
you got friends when you come out here.
I'm going to come out and I'm going to seek you all out.
I'm
Dallas,
definitely
Texas has none of that. We just have a lake.
right. So, but yeah, no, I mean, again, it's it's terrible what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? It's
over 4,000 homes in the Altadena fire. I think they said it's around 4,000 or 5,000.
But are you all safe?
Oh
yeah, we're safe. We're safe. Well, I'm safe. I know Brittany, she's in the high desert. You haven't had to deal with any of those other than
Nope, not at all. I mean, I know the other fire, the other fire that we had in I want to say August, September. That one was kind of close to me. That one was like in Big Bear, but this one, no. Because the fire last night, yeah, but this fire is nowhere near me. But we have some comments. Life Coach D said good morning, and Katie Taylor also said hi, folks, and that she's feeling better. So thank you, Life Coach D and Katie.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, but
so
I mean, for the most part, I'm sorry, Pedro. For the most part, again, and it could happen even, that one guy I listened to, Brian Tyler Cohen, he lives, in Palisades, and he said he was sitting there looking out his window and, and he's trying to figure out I see the fire all around me, right?
Wow.
What do I grab and throw in a backpack? Because that's all you really got time to grab, But when he woke up the next morning, his power was back on after 3 days and his house was safe. But again, that wasn't the same thing for a lot of his neighbors. I mean, a lot of people out here also have shifted to, they literally have now on the market, and it's not cheap, but they do have on the market now fire resistant paint. So you can paint your house with this stuff and it'll stop your house from catching on fire.
Wow, that's a good article to do.
I'm sorry. I had mentioned last week, Ed, you wasn't listening. But I said, when I call 911, we have something here in Dallas, Texas, to where they know I'm blind. So they know to...
Well, they have that out here as well, Carol. You just got to sign up for it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we got all that as well. We signed up for it because that way, if there's an evacuation, when they look, that way they know, okay, we got a blind person over here, we got somebody over here that's, in a wheelchair, all this other kind of stuff. They know what resources to send to help you get evacuated.
Right.
So, yeah, that's something going on for a couple of years out here at least now. So
yeah, it's been about probably 5 years here in Texas.
But yeah, no, I mean, again, we just deal with it. That's what we do in California. Just like a lot of folks, they deal with tornadoes every year, deal with hurricanes every year. Up in the Northeast, they deal with being totally frozen. All this other kind of stuff. Everybody got their own issues. Everybody's scared of California because of the main thing is earthquakes. I'm 67 years old. I've been here pretty much all my life, and I've never had an earthquake affect my life.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and every region, like every little section of the United States has their little dealing with weather. And weather is gets extreme with the climate change that's happening. And this is where I was getting into a into innovation, and I was talking about innovation in one of these past episodes when you were gone. And we're glad to have you back, and we're glad that your whole procedure went down and it was good and successful and stuff like that. But
Thank you.
yeah, so the extreme weather conditions and the extreme wind, comes from some climate change. But I think we can probably even curb that by innovating, having enough funding for innovating for different, like for example, what happened in Texas when their power went out and a lot of people were stuck in the snow. They were
Well,
stuck.
how will we do that, Pedro? Everybody keeps saying climate change is not real, but we see it, we feel it. How will we do that?
Well,
Well, I
I'm gonna give my little spill on it.
go
I
for it.
totally agree with you, Pedro. I don't get me wrong. I totally agree with you, 150%. The problem is these public utilities are privately owned. They
Mm,
are owned and operated by a private company that has shareholders. They are not willing to give up their stock dividends for innovation. They want their money.
Mm.
They don't want to reinvest in the company that they own, right? To make sure that their business stays profitable
mm.
for the next 50, 100 years, whatever.
Mm. Mm.
Yes,
They
and
want
this.
they want to take their money and run.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then we might have to fix that type of structure, listeners. We might have to maybe innovate in the position. I know that they're public utilities, but maybe they might not need to be privately owned. We might need to become a part. Uh, let's say, I don't know how would I say this. It probably publicly owned or govern from the government. Own part
I
of
Well,
it
mean,
with a private
federal,
company.
because why not
it's federal.
federal?
Yeah, it's
Why not
federal.
make it federal? Because
Mhm.
whenever these emergencies happen, right,
Mhm.
wouldn't regardless of what state it is, they end up turning to the feds for assistance.
Good
Yeah, it's,
observation.
it's federal, Pedro.
Yeah, good observation, Ed. It's true that yeah, California is looking out for the government, and then it's saying that we need federal aid, and yeah, you do hear these states asking, and to prevent that, we can make it just already a federal thing, even
Right.
with the funding of innovation, and that's another thing we might have to frame this under innovating for the weather, the extreme weather, instead of uh, introducing the term climate change and some people get turned off. We're gonna call it innovating for the 21st century. You think that probably that type of framing can make a difference? Because we do have, like Harold said, people that do not believe in climate change or.
Well,
What I don't understand right now, we just had a cold spell right here in Dallas, Texas. They are warning us. They say we're gonna have rollouts. Well, what's rollouts? They're gonna cut power with some people, and then they're gonna turn the power back on. But we still paying our bill. It's only happening, the power outage, in the poor communities. See, we got Highland Park, we got University Park, we got all these rich areas. They didn't lose power.
well, I
It's
mean, again,
only happening in the poor communities. I'm just trying to figure out why is it
rich
only happening to us.
rich people don't have to deal with poor people's problems. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, and the only thing that's, kind of a saving grace and all of that, if that meter ain't spinning, you ain't getting charged.
Mm.
So when they cut your power, that meter stops spinning. So yes, you are still paying your bill, but you're not paying for power you're not getting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
and and from all the money they're making and the expensive bills, they should be having money enough funds to innovate. But what you thought of my question prior, what I was saying about framing the topic or the issue?
I mean, man, I see it, U.S. power, U.S. water, U.S. whatever. You know what I'm saying? The problem also is within our government, we do a lot of subcontracting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rather than take on the operation of a particular area like power, right? I mean, again, our constitution, so on and so forth, each state is, responsible for its own, right? And
Right.
Yes.
then all
Yes.
that other kind of stuff. But once you become part of the United States, I don't see any harm. And now you're on the U.S. power grid, okay? They can redirect power from states that are not affected if it's all on one, major grid. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, they would definitely have to go in and flip a switch here and flip a switch there to redirect power, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
again, it just makes sense to me that it could all be under their thing. The issue is you got to hold, even if you're going to continue with these subcontractors, you got to hold them accountable. You got to
You
take
do.
that profit margin out of the loop. That way you can take your profits, you know, and I mean anything above and beyond what it costs to operate the business, that's considered profit. Take that profit and reinvest it into that infrastructure to constantly be improving that infrastructure.
Ethics is not valid no more. Nobody cares. They just all about the money. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get that, but that's them up on top. If we don't vote for them, they can't do it.
That's true. That's true. And that's another thing about getting involved in politics and even local politics and moving on up, because it seems like the ones on top, the richer ones are getting richer. They're getting all the subsidies, tax cuts, and just like how we were talking about in the previous show about the tax provisions coming into play this 2025 for the poor class most likely are going away when the tax cuts that the wealthy received are going to stay permanent.
We said it. You might have missed it, but we say Pedro for president.
Well, I mean, again, he's got a lot of great ideas.
He does.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the problem is we're turning into an oligarchy kind of thing, and we got to get away from that because oligarchy is, oh well, we're separate from them.
We're
It's
different,
it's
but
like
we unique in the same sense.
it's the royals and the peasants is the way they look at it, right?
Right.
So
They don't think
again,
blind people can do nothing.
well, that's a whole nother topic, but anyway.
Yeah. But we are coming up to a quick commercial break and we will be getting into an article. But Brittany, any comments by any chance?
Yes, we do. Katie said that she will be praying for California. Thank you so much. So are we.
Thank you, Kate.
And I will get you on that email list today, Katie. I thought I did it already, but when I looked at my list today, you weren't. So I'll make sure I put your email back on that list. And thank you for, well, I know you didn't have nothing to do with it, but I thank Oregon for sending some of their fire trucks down here to help us out. We really appreciate it. you know. So I really appreciate that. So, all right, let's do this thing, Pedro.
All right, we'll be back, guys.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Do you need assistance with iOS? Or are you curious what iOS is? Perhaps you're seeking tips and tricks on how to use JAWS on your Windows machine? Or maybe you would like to participate in our popular support group led by Dominic? Or maybe join us for movie nights on Friday where we watch and discuss the movie of the night? For more information, please email us at info@blindunited.org. Once again, that's info@blindunited.org. You can also follow us on Facebook for real-time updates and community interactions. We look forward to connecting with you.
Like that, Pedro.
I loved it. Yes, Pedro.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Nice.
That's all about our interest groups, y'all. That's all the different kind of stuff we do within our interest groups. I mean, a lot of you folks are listening to us every morning, and we definitely appreciate your support here. But over there is where we really get down and take care of business. You know, we're just trying to help everybody, you know, get to whatever level they're trying to get to, whether it's, you know, you need some tech training or you just need some folks to socialize with and watch a movie. Or
I'm going to tell you straight up, from Dallas, Texas, it costs a lot of money here for me to get everything I need, but I connect with y'all, Blind United, and I've learned more than I would have to ever pay out of my pocket.
So anyway, let's get into this first article. You know, it's something that's been proposed, and I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to be come to fruition. And this man is going to try to, you know, send a bunch of people back home. And, you know, besides the effect that that's going to have on us,
this man.
Besides the effect it's going to have on us, this article is also going to show the effect that it's going to have on some villagers.
Well, if we're sending back people, can we send back his wife? I'm just saying.
I understand. So let's hit that button, Pedro.
Today on Coffee Time, exploring the impact of mass deportations on Mexican villages. As discussions around mass deportation policies targeting undocumented Mexican immigrants continue, it's important to consider the far-reaching economic and social consequences, particularly for Mexican villages that heavily rely on financial support from abroad. Today, we're diving into how these potential policies could disrupt communities and economies across Mexico. The vital role of remittances. Remittances sent by Mexicans living in the United States represent a significant pillar of Mexico's economy, with over $60 billion flowing into the country annually. These funds are essential for millions of families, especially in rural areas, helping to cover basic needs such as food and housing, education expenses, healthcare costs, local investments in infrastructure and small businesses. Regional dependence on remittances. Certain Mexican states are particularly reliant on remittances. In 2023, Chiapas saw remittances account for 15.9% of its GDP. Guerrero reported 13.8% of its GDP tied to remittance inflows. Michoacan experienced an 11.1% dependency. These figures highlight how deeply intertwined remittances are with the economic well-being of specific regions. Potential impacts of mass deportations. The large-scale deportation of undocumented Mexican immigrants could disrupt this financial lifeline. Key concerns include economic disruption. A sudden halt or reduction in remittances could destabilize families and entire local economies, limiting access to essential resources and opportunities. Increased migration pressures. Ironically, the economic strain caused by reduced remittances might drive further migration as families seek new income sources to replace the lost support. Strained national economy. Beyond individual households, the broader Mexican economy could face challenges such as balance of payment issues and exchange rate instability, potentially leading to slower growth and fewer job opportunities. A complex dynamic. The relationship between migration and economic stability is deeply interconnected. Policies that disrupt the flow of remittances can create ripple effects that fuel the very conditions they aim to address, emphasizing the need for balanced and thoughtful policymaking. What are your thoughts on the impact of mass deportations? Should economic consequences be a bigger part of the conversation when discussing immigration policy? Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their insights.
So, I mean, again, and even though the article doesn't speak on it, I'm going to touch on it. Mass deportations is going to hurt our economy as well because, I mean, I'm sorry, all of these folks are not going to get out in the field and pick apples and oranges and strawberries and all. They're not going to get out there and do the day-to-day labor stuff. You know what I'm saying? That we've now become dependent on immigrants to do for us. Now, so that being said, hearing that word remittance, I had to look it up. I'm being honest, I didn't know what remittances were. But yeah, right. But I mean, I always knew that this was occurring, right? So when you expand your mind and understand why these folks are coming over here, and ain't they dumping the prisons and insane asylums and all of those stuff? Don't buy into the boo boo, okay? These people are coming from a third world country, and all they're trying to do is make a better life for themselves and for their families. So now they come up here, they get a job. I mean, it on the bottom end. Let's just say they make $1,000 a month. Down there, they would only make maybe $50 a month. So for them, they're winning. So now they take that money and they send portions of their money back home to their families in Mexico to improve their lives. Not only are they improving their lives, they're building schools and different things within their infrastructure that the Mexican government, being a third world government, just cannot afford to do. You know, so I mean, again, so now you want to gather all of these people up and send them back down there. You're going to hurt us and you're going to hurt them. Who's winning? Who is really winning? The people that don't want but a certain group of people to be here. Those are the only people that's winning.
Yeah, and then to look at the economic point of it, I do believe that economic point should be mentioned when talking about deportation. It is mentioned everywhere else when it comes to Social Security, when it comes to Medical, when it comes to a lot of things. And guys, honestly, we should be thinking on how we can budget the Pentagon, and things like that, because the Pentagon has been audited like 3 times. I think it failed all three, and they just haven't proceeded to audit everything, So, we do need to cut spending, but we need to actually look at it and see what it's gonna, if it's gonna damage or affect over, let's say, 40 to 50% of the population. Meaning, if you cut Social Security, you're affecting the elderly population and the disabled population, and if it's affecting those populations, let's say for example, and Social Security over 40 or 50%, now they would have to take that in account should they do that, because it's going to affect over almost a majority of the group.
Of course, of course. And and then again, let's go here on the Social Security part. A lot of these immigrants, okay, yeah, they may not be legal, but don't think each and every one of them is getting paid under the table. Not that that doesn't help our economy, because even though they're getting paid under the table, they're still buying stuff wherever they live. It's going into the
Hmm.
local economy. But those that, per se may go get a phony Social Security or whatever the case may be, they're paying into Social Security and they're paying taxes, and they don't get to file taxes. They don't get to get Social Security.
That's
I
right.
And
look at the fact of,
Hmm.
hey, Trump's coming on, but I admire the Hispanics. I really do. Coming from Mexico, they live together. They get everything together. What I hate uh, about life is just our black race. Our black race don't do that. We hate on each other. But these Hispanics, everybody's trying to keep out of the border, put you on another side. No, family oriented, and they
No, they're very, very, very hardworking, Carol. I agree with you. And Katie, she said that Americans are not going to turn their lawns into gardens. A lot of us don't know how to do that. Who's going to pick the oranges, apples, the grapes, the
you're
who's
right.
going to do all that? I mean,
You're
But that
right.
aside, it's not only
You're
that.
right, Brittany.
It's not
You're
only
right.
that sector. There's childcare, there's nannies, there's restaurant workers, and they just want to make a better life for themselves.
So
Um,
why keep
the
them
the
away,
thing
Pedro?
is, the issue about the way that we get at each other, and sometimes we hate on each other and things like that, as American people, it's because of the divide and conquer. It's what the rich has been they already deployed on us. Is he got your money over there? It's like if you see that movie, It's a Wonderful Life. Remember when the bank ran out of money, and
Right,
and the
right.
dude goes, "Well, your money is in his house, and his house, and his house," and then they get mad at each other, the public, and kind of leave the bank alone. That's kind of like the ploy they're using right now. The rich
It's
and the
not the true world, but it's the world we live in.
yes, and it could change, because there's room how our American system has been built, that we can get to the top and succeed, and make a change. But a change have to be made, when I was saying in another episode about putting a cap on the billionaires, maybe a $25 billion cap or a $50 billion cap, because there was a new study that just came out. It said two-thirds of rich people are not satisfied with their wealth.
no, because they're greedy.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean,
And
you
one
know,
more.
and I'm not going to say that I'm the most religious or spiritual person on the planet, but bottom line, he said everything in moderation. Okay, no matter what it is.
no, and I
And
think a lot of these rich people, they just want to stay in power. And Katie Taylor commented she wanted to know, has anybody read the book Dying of Whiteness? I mean, I believe that a lot of these people who voted for that man voted for him because they're afraid that they're going to lose their power, that America is becoming more brown, and it is.
I'm gonna
okay,
say
but it
this,
was
and maybe
brown
maybe
before they
this is
got
my
here.
opinion only, but I feel like they just didn't want no woman.
Well,
They
no,
didn't want no woman. I don't think that he got all the votes that he said he did. I don't believe the world wanted him. I think they just didn't want her.
okay, well, let me go here. Number one. This country was brown before the white man got here. Okay. He invaded America. Okay. Just like every other country that the Caucasoids, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, have done throughout history. They've moved here and conquered, moved there and conquered, moved there and conquered, moved there and conquered. They moved here and conquered the U.S., okay? They went across this country and killed millions of red men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Exhibit A, guys, our current incoming administration, the president that's coming in, is talking about invading. Talking about Canada's going to be the the 51st state. Talking about Greenland, taking Greenland, uh, going into other parts of the
They
world
want
and
to take over
taking that.
Panama. They want because come on, man. We went down there. Yes, we built the canal, right? Why? Because it saved us money, right? In the shipping and stuff, right? Not having to go all the way down around South America, being able to take that little shortcut right there, right? And then they started charging people to do it. Okay, well, that's how you pay for it. Okay, once we got our money back, what did we do? We gave it back to them. Now this man talking about he gonna go take it.
Right?
No, you can't take this back. So now you're gonna go and invade what is it, Belgium? Because they're they got Greenland.
Awesome.
And now he wants Greenland. All of this to do. That is the mind of a dictator. I'm sorry, but that's what that is. So, but again, back to dealing with these folks, man. I mean, again, I used to have animosity. I used to be a truck driver back in my early years. And I made my living down, driving truck and the rates and so on and so forth. And I started noticing an influx of immigrants coming in, and to get the job, they'd come do the work cheaper, which is often the case, than what I would do it for. And next thing you know, they started dominating. In essence, I had to either find me something else to do or get out of the harbor, whatever the case may be. I mean, I know when I was growing up, it wasn't nothing but Japanese folks and stuff doing gardening and all that other kind of stuff, right? Then it went to the black folks. Now it's all Hispanics, because they're coming in and they're doing it cheaper, right? But at the same time, if these somebody needs to mute their microphone.
It's me. Sorry.
But again, if they want to continue in business, you know what? Maybe instead of having, 9 people working for you, maybe you got to cut that down to 7 and you get out there and work yourself. Maybe you had to come out from behind that desk and put some work in. You're going to have to go with the flow if you want to stay in business. That's called competition. And competition is what keeps pricing down. Okay? All these corporations right now, they're trying to do these mergers where they want just a few corporations are going to end up owning all of the industries within the country. When that happens, we don't have competition. Okay? I can remember, again, back when I was young, I mean, I know I'm the old fart on the crew, but gas was 25 cents a gallon.
A gallon.
Okay? And they had signs on the corner of their lots where they would
just
leaded.
It wasn't even like they have premium and all that stuff. It was just leaded.
So what I was trying to say was that even these gas stations back then, this gas station on this corner might be 25 cents a gallon. They had signs out on the corners, right? Gas war. Well, what that meant was this station, like I said, 25 cents a gallon. Across the street, it might be 24. On the other corner, it might be 23. Or they would try to stay, at least, equal, to where they were, okay, now you're making a choice on which gas you like better versus which one is the cheaper one. But it kept prices affordable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in that point, guys, that is true. We don't need monopolize all around the country and only have a few corporations to utilize that to price gouge us. But at that point, I'm gonna be cutting to a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
All right. Well, this other one is an example of greed beyond a government contract. So I'm going to let him play the article and then we can get into this one.
Today on Coffee Time, the growing concerns over military-grade ammunition in civilian use. The use of military-grade ammunition in mass shootings has sparked significant debate across the nation, raising questions about public safety, federal oversight, and the responsibilities of ammunition producers. A key source of concern is the Lake City Army Ammunition Plant in Missouri, a federally funded facility operated by private contractors that supplies the U.S. military and sells surplus rounds commercially. Mass shootings and criminal use. Military-grade ammunition from the Lake City plant has been linked to at least 12 mass shootings since 2012, including tragedies at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. This type of ammunition has also surfaced in criminal investigations involving gangs, Mexican cartels, and anti-government militias, raising alarms about its distribution beyond military channels. Legislative and legal actions. Lawmakers and legal authorities are calling for reforms to curb the commercial sale of this powerful ammunition. Congressional inquiries. Senator Elizabeth Warren and others have called on the Department of Defense to end the practice of allowing contractors to sell surplus military rounds commercially, citing public safety concerns. State-level action. A coalition of 20 state attorneys general, led by New York Attorney General Letitia James, has formally requested the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention to investigate and stop these sales, emphasizing their role in high-profile mass shootings. Public safety implications. Designed for combat scenarios, military-grade ammunition poses heightened risks when used in civilian settings. Law enforcement has highlighted the challenges such rounds create during critical incidents, often complicating response efforts and increasing the danger for officers and bystanders alike. Current developments. Despite growing scrutiny, the sale of surplus military ammunition to civilians continues. However, mounting legislative efforts and public pressure are pushing for reforms that could significantly restrict this practice to prioritize community safety. As discussions around gun control and public safety continue, how do you think policymakers should address the distribution of military-grade ammunition? Let's explore these pressing questions together. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
Well, and I'm so glad we always put that up front. It's my opinion. There is no reason on the planet that civilians should have military grade weapons nor military grade ammunition. It just does not make sense. These are weapons of mass destruction. When you go into war, you are going into war to create as much destruction as possible, to bring your adversaries down. When you allow that to happen within your own country, the adversary becomes whoever you don't like, or whatever fetish you have. I mean, I'm saying fetish because there's got to be something wrong with these people going out and shooting these kids. That just does not make sense. There's got to be something wrong with these people that are going, like down there with George in El Paso, and going into a Walmart and shooting up a bunch of people. I mean, back in the day, what we used to call that? They went postal, right? Why? Because one of the first folks noted for doing that stuff is crazy, but they were postal workers, right? For whatever reason, but they fixed that problem within the post office. But the stigma, the disease, whatever we want to call it, is still occurring to the point to where these people are still doing it. They're still doing it. And now, not only that, you're forcing the our local law enforcement to basically turn into military. They got to have military grade stuff, because why? That's who they're combating, right? But, and I'm going to finish off with this. Like I said in the beginning, this is also about greed. They have a contract to supply weapons to the U.S. Ammunition to the U.S. government. You are getting paid to manufacture and produce that ammunition to our military. Why do you need to sell it to John down on the corner other than to make more money? It doesn't make sense. You already have a government contract. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense, and it should not be allowed. So anyway, that's my take on it.
Yeah. And that goes back to a saying that we hear in our society all the time. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. But we should also think about, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, right? If we value money over life, then we're not having any common sense.
Right.
You know?
Right. When it comes to putting people's lives at risk, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't care if you're making money on it or not. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. When a 5-year-old, a child in school has to go through something like that, you know, and it could be prevented. It could be prevented in multiple fronts. It could be prevented with the sales of ammunitions and putting fingerprints on triggers, updating weaponry. Also, in another front where it could be also beneficial will be mental health. Put mental health in front, have mental health be covered as a medical in through insurance and stuff like that, because I think some of our young folks need to talk to someone. They need someone to guide them, if it's a therapist or a counselor, but they need someone that they could sit down and talk to, that they need.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and for me, a perfect example of that is I never met another blind person in my life before I went blind. I didn't know how to deal with being blind until I started talking to other blind folks. We all need somebody to talk to. This is why our support group is one of the most popular groups we have, because we get to come together and talk with one another. I mean, we're talking about everyday issues, but we also bring that layer that points to our blindness, because a lot of times our blindness emphasizes a lot of these issues that come up. Everybody got to deal with the issue, but when you add on the fact that I'm blind, okay, well, how about this one? Everybody got certain issues, but when you deal with the fact that you're a woman, you know what I'm saying, or you're of a different race, whatever, all of those things change the perimeters of what we're dealing with. Sometimes it makes it easier, sometimes it makes it worse. Well, I should say 99.999% of the time it makes it worse, because there's only a small percentage of folks that it gets better for. So,
Yeah, yeah, and taking care of our younger folks with the mental health, and creating programs for the youth benefits society in the long run. And meaning, in the long run, in time, it will benefit society. But people and leadership mostly are only care what's in front of them, what is 5 years away or 3 years away. I can't see them kind of coming together and planning something for the future, for innovating, to taking our schools to the 21st century, our healthcare to the 21st century, uh, and that includes mental health. Two
mental
major
health,
pillars, two
yeah,
major pillars of society: school and education, the major pillar, because it
yeah.
develops people for the future and careers and the jobs, like technology jobs that someone from Doge wants to import people and have them take over those jobs, because of the condition that when the company doesn't need them, they can just ship them back out. And when you have somebody working on that, you get to push them to work extra hours and for extra cheap pay.
Well, not only that, Pedro, they don't have to pay them at the same rate that they would have to pay a computer engineer from here. They're gonna they It's not that they're smarter. It's the same reason that immigrants were at one point welcomed, because they work cheaper. That's all it really boils down to. It's their
The money,
greed.
the
It's
money,
all
money,
about their
money.
greed, man. So
Hmm.
I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, wake up. It's not, and this ain't a woke thing. I mean, I don't even really know what woke means. I done heard so many definitions of woke, but I know what I've seen in my 65, 67 years of being on this planet, and that's all I can speak on, you know. And again, am I mad at immigrants for coming here? No, I totally understand why they're here. And it doesn't matter whether they're from Mexico, India, China, whatever third world country they may come here from. I understand why they come here. Okay. So, but the thing is, we are a nation of immigrants. Just like I stated earlier, they didn't just stumble upon America. They came here and they conquered America, right? They took it over. But what did they do? All throughout, they brought in immigrants in the form of slavery, what they call indenturement, indentment. whatever it was, where they paid for your passage to come over here and then you had to work 10 years to pay it off, whatever the case may be, they brought you here for your cheap labor and they are still trying to find ways to continue that process. That's all
Yeah.
that is.
And we have to understand, folks, these billionaire class or millionaire class, this rich class that own these corporations alone have the money to pay American workers, but they choose not to.
Because it
Like,
affects their bottom line.
yes, because of it affects their bottom line. And it seems like companies are structured to every year surpass last year, surpass last year, surpass last year. And keeping that momentum doesn't seem viable, you
No, it
know?
doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, what's that old saying? In Detroit, a lot of folks say it. Well, a lot of folks say it anyway. It's built Ford tough. Ford ain't all that tough no more. Okay, they got the name because why? They were a tough truck. You could buy a Ford pickup truck, and you could drive that truck and put 200,000-300,000 miles on it, and that truck would still be trucking up and down the highway. That
Hmm.
ain't happening no more. We used to have brand loyalty. Why? Because of the durability of the products. That's why people stayed loyal to products, right? Corporate America decided, you know what? We ain't making no money on making superior products. We got to start making our products a little bit less superior so they'll break down. Now they got to come buy something new. Not just because they want something new, because they need something new. They have to have that device, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
in my neighborhood, we had appliance repair shops. You don't
Now
see
those
any of
went
that no more.
away. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
You used to have shoe repair shops. You'd go in and get a new sole and new heels and whatever on your shoe. You can't go get your shoes fixed no more. You throw them in the trash and go get a new pair.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Come on, man. That's not the way we're supposed to go. It's not the way it's supposed to go. Man, give me a pair of shoes. I can buy one pair and I can wear that same pair of shoes the rest of my life. Okay? I can take it down there. I can have a new sole put on it. I can have a new heel put on it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Throw some polish on that thing and have it shining like brand new money. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a new car every 2, 3, 4, 5 years. As long as that car is still running good, I'm gonna keep driving it. If I go buy a new car, it's not because I need it, it's because I want it.
Yeah, it seems nowadays that when you buy a product and cars are included, once you're done paying them, you could surely going to start finding things going wrong with the vehicle or appliance, and it's kind of sad. But yes, you're right. We used to pick brands on how prestige they feel. We still kind of do that. A brand that kind of has us feeling like that, for example, is Apple. Apple, we get our phone, we're like, oh man, this is made real good. And it was and it is, but it's been done through cheap labor in China and other places like that. We could
Right.
probably even get uh a better product done in the USA by building it. But you know, paying the workers, them wanting to increase their bottom line has them doing it overseas. It's the money part, like it says.
And I think they know. Like example, a few years back, I went and bought this really, really nice, counter depth refrigerator, yada, 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 right? Paid $3,200 for that thing. Went ahead and bought the extra warranty, okay, just in case something goes wrong. So I think I had like 2, 3 years warranty, whatever it was on it extra.
Mm-hmm.
Not even 6 months after that warranty ran out, that refrigerator died. They
Dang.
know. They know. They already know.
And,
So
and this what is it's a conspiracy called planned obsolescence. Okay,
I don't
and
think that's a conspiracy. I think that that's what they're doing. I don't think that at all. But we have some comments. God First
thanks,
said
man.
yes,
Thanks.
Ed, and God First also said the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And Monica said, "Good morning, happy Monday."
okay,
Thank you,
Monica
Monica.
and God First. Thank y'all, everybody.
Yes, yes, guys, and yes, it's true. When we elect people and they bring in nothing but billionaires, you know, the billionaires in that Doge, just those two billionaires alone own so much wealth, and that's where it becomes an oligarchy when they start looking after where they could penny pinch, so they can pillage and plunder our money, our taxpayer money. Because honestly, the ones that are gonna be in charge pretty soon, and that unofficial Doge, those two are those two in their uh, Elon and the other billionaire are going to earn so much money. It's already being speculated. People are making market moves, even with this crypto thing they're trying to push. Think about this, just to put it out in public so people know. Doge, the you know why they called that Doge? That unofficial government agency, they called it Doge because Elon Musk has something called Doge coin that is cryptocurrency, and this is what they're gonna try to do is have our government invest into crypto. And who's gonna get rich? Whoever's holding the all those coins. Also, whoever's holding the most contracts within the Pentagon, and those two individuals have contracts with the government.
Not to mention that those crypto coins are actually imaginary because it's not something physical that you can hold on to.
And I think they know that, and they're like, how can I get them off?" So I think the people that have this crypto coins, they want the government to invest and be like, let's make it like something like a part of our 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 money. But I think they're trying to do the pump and dump scheme on them. Basically, is here, let me dump it to you because they see what can we do with this crypto. What else can we do? It's still viable. It's volatile. I mean, it has problems and stuff. And just to get technical, when these quantum computers come out, and one already has done it, has been able to break encryption, meaning top encryption. It's been able to break it. So if crypto is based on this blockchain and this code and stuff, it's it's going to affect it. It
Right.
is gonna be able to decrypt it and all that. So our quantum computing and our chips, the one especially that Google just introduced, is a game changer, guys.
Well,
A lot of
and
things can be decrypted.
and for those that may not necessarily understand what a quantum computer is, I mean, they just kind of, just to get a brief idea what it is, go check out the movie Swordfish. It gives you kind of an idea of what quantum computing is. So, but anyway, on that note, y'all, man, it's great to be back. Can't believe this hour went so fast. But again, I'm so grateful to still be here and be with my folks and all this good stuff. Mata, God First, Miss Kate up in Oregon, everybody. We really, really appreciate you. Again, as always, in parting, please, please, please do what you can. Run to whatever platform you're watching us on. Like, subscribe, share, comment. hit the notifications, whatever you do over there will definitely help us get the word out to more and more people as we continue this journey to build bridges, close gaps, and make connections. So on that note, everybody have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you on Taco Tuesday. Have a great day.